Marhaba, my name is Megan and welcome to Wanderlust Voyages. We are here to tell you all about Morocco, from the cities to the culture to the cuisine. If you would like to learn more about Morocco, please be sure to like this video and subscribe, hitting the notification bell so you will be notified of our next upload. Today I am here to talk to you about hammams. Now, a lot of people, when they are thinking of going to Morocco, they start looking at, what are the must-do, must-experience things in the country. And something you will see on almost every list is get a hammam. Sounds great. What is it? This is something that I was really quite unfamiliar with before I went. And to me and to a lot of Westerners, it is also very foreign. I will say specifically to a lot of Americans, because a lot of Europeans don't have the same hang-ups about being naked around other people that a lot of Americans do. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. First of all, what is a hammam? Well, a hammam is a sort of bathing ritual. It dates back to early Roman times, and it really stems from the Roman baths, where people don't necessarily have the space to bathe in their home, so they go to these public baths where they can be scrubbed down, and it also becomes a very social place in the community. And this was something that was spread all over wherever the Romans went, which was almost everywhere. And in Morocco, as well as other Arab countries, it became a crucial part of the community because cleanliness is incredibly important in Islam, especially purifying your body before prayers. So there is traditionally a hammam right next to the mosque. So you'll hear me use hammam in a couple of different ways. Technically, hammam is the bathing building. However, colloquially, it's also used to refer to the ritual itself. So I am going to use it both ways because it is used both ways. And I just want to clarify that, so hopefully there's no confusion. So the hammam, as I mentioned, is a very important part of the community. In the ancient Medinas, not everybody had ability to have a hot bath at home. There wasn't running water. How do you heat that much water? How do you set aside space for such a thing? And so people would go out and do that. There are 5 traditional elements necessary in every community in the Medinas. So there is the community oven, a fountain, a school, a mosque, and a hammam. Now, the hammam kind of can be tied into not only the mosque, as previously mentioned, but also the community oven. Because in order to heat the water, traditionally they wouldn't just waste that extra heat, but people would also be able to bring dishes, breads to cook in the fires that are also being used to heat the water. So it's a very multifunctional piece of the community and very important. So what is the ritual of a hammam? Well, it is traditionally involves moving through 3 different rooms of varying temperature. When you first get in, you're going to start in the warm room to help get you used to the heat. And then you're going to move into the hot room, which is going to have a lot of steam and is essentially a sauna for your pores to open up and to begin to sweat out impurities. Then you're going to move back to the warm room, where you are slathered with this black beldi soap that's made with olive oil. A lot of it is made with eucalyptus or other local herbs that are very good for your skin. And then this very abrasive kesar mitt is used to scrub away the dead skin. After that, you're rinsed clean, and then you're going to go to the cold room, which it's not actually cold, it's just cooler compared to the warm room, to relax and drink tea and come back down to temperature. This is something that is still done today in many communities by many Moroccans. People who live in the Medina, some of them may not have a separate bathing room specifically, because a lot of the buildings are indeed very old. They've been around since the Medina has been built, and not all of them were retrofitted with copious amounts of hot water. So they still go to the hammams, and in traditional local hammams, it is definitely not a private experience. It is a community where everybody goes, and of course it's divided between men and women, either completely separate areas, or if it's a smaller hammam, separate times of days, or even separate days. And people go, they bring their own towels, their own soap, all of their own supplies, and they help each other. It's not that, you make an appointment and you have an attendant. No, you go in and you do it all yourself, and you need someone to help slather you down and scrub you off, and that's going to be your neighbor from next door, or a family member, or just whoever isn't busy in the hammam that day. And it's something that is also very social. It's a place where people get together and talk and catch up on news and gossip, and oftentimes make connections. Business deals go on there, just like here in the US, they say a lot of deals are made on a golf course. Well, there, a lot of deals can be made in a hammam. It's a place where everyone is a little bit more relaxed, and you talk to everybody who's there. So this is, as I said, how things go in a traditional hammam. For the most part, travelers aren't necessarily going to go to a local community hammam, because that is rather intimidating when you don't know exactly how it goes, when you have to go buy your own supplies, when you have to try to navigate this without the benefit of people who can speak your language. So a lot of travelers will instead go to the more spa-like hammams that are either part of hotels, or there are a few standalone as well. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my experience with hammams. When I go to Morocco, I have found that not all hammams are created equally. Just like any other services, some people do it better than others. And I have found that, there's one in particular 5-star hotel that I would have expected a very good, competent procedure treatment, and it was one of the worst experiences I've had with a hammam. And so when I go there, I try a new one each time so that I can truthfully recommend where people go. Sometimes it might be, oh, you're staying in this hotel. Yeah, go ahead and try it at that hotel. Or it might be, maybe go to the hotel next door because they have a really, really good one. Or if they're staying at a small riad that doesn't have a hammam, great, I know a perfect one for you. And some of them are just standalone. So these more spa-like treatments, they do cater to travelers in a few different ways. The first is the atmosphere is more spa-like. It's quieter. They usually have some soothing music playing. A lot of them have low lighting. It's not the gathering social place that you find in the community hammams. Second, it is going to be more or less private. Now, I say more or less because if you are going by yourself, you will be by yourself. But if you are going with a friend or family member of the same sex, then they're going to put you in there together. So just be prepared for that. If you are not comfortable with that, be sure to ask for separate appointment times. Otherwise, they'll say, yes, we can take you both at this time, and you're going to be in a room together. Just be aware of that. So, what should you expect? Well, a few of the hammams, especially the ones that are standalone, they do have separate rooms, as I mentioned. Some of the smaller ones, you really just have kind of one room that they can turn steam on and off when they as needed. You start in the locker room, and already it's a little bit warmer than out in the hallway. It's to help you start adjusting to the heat. So you get changed, and this is slightly different for men versus women. With women, they give you the paper underwear, which is a thong, and that's it. If you've ever gotten a massage or anything where you're given with those, yeah, it's really just kind of like pretending that you're covered when you're not really. So just again, be forewarned about that. If you really want to wear underwear or bathing suit bottoms, you can. However, it's going to get moved around. Just forewarned. For men, again, they do give you like paper boxer shorts, or you can wear your own, and that stays in place. So once you get changed, you're usually given a robe. I was at one place where I was not. That was interesting. And then you go into the steam room. Now, this may be a separate room, or it may be where the rest of the hammam is going to take place, as I mentioned, where they will turn on the steam. And when you go into that room, when it's something where it all takes place in one room, there's going to be a warmed stone or marble bench or kind of slab. You know, it feels a little bit like you're about to be autopsied on it, but it's, you know, kind of a waist height, just giant slab that you lay down on, and you will stay there for 10 to 15 minutes. And some of them really turn up the steam where like you cannot see in front of you. Others, you know, it may be a little bit less intense, but it's a great time to relax. After that, you either move to the room with the marble table, or if you're already in there, then your attendant is going to come in and slather you with black belly soap. Sorry, before that, you do get washed down superficially just to rinse off any superficial dirt or whatnot before the steam. So you get a quick rinse down, you have the steam, and then you get slathered with the soap. And when you are getting slathered, front and back, be very, very careful when you are turning over, because most of them do put down a towel or something that's non-slip, but I have been in one where they didn't. And so wet plus the olive oil based soap, it was very hard not to just go slipping off the side as I was trying to turn over. So be forewarned, if there's not a towel, be very, very careful. And so usually they'll give you a few minutes just to sit and let the soap start to absorb and soften your skin. And then they start with the Keramet. Now, the Keramet, it is very, very abrasive. And you'll see it sold in the markets, and some hotels even provide them in the bathrooms as well. And it's going to feel like your skin is being sanded, because that is exactly what is going on. A good hammam, it is going to come right up to the point of pain, and maybe even kind of a little bit painful, but not too bad. And so if you have extremely sensitive skin, be sure to let them know, communicate with your attendant. And it's not supposed to be super painful, but your skin is getting sanded. It's not completely relaxing, but do try to relax as much as you can. Be aware, if you're ticklish like me, they're sanding everywhere, under your arms, bottoms of your feet. Like, I'm usually laughing during this because I'm so ticklish. So be aware of that. Also, as I mentioned, with the women, chances are that paper underwear, what little it covers, is going to get moved around, because they are very thorough. So again, be prepared, but don't be self-conscious about it, because just like a masseuse, they've seen every body, every shape and size and whatever, and they're not there to judge you for it. They're just there to do their job and make you, fresh and new and have the softest skin of your life. So while they're scrubbing it, a lot of people, of course, when you're laying on your back, a lot of people close their eyes, because you are not really wanting to be there naked staring at the person who's scrubbing you down. So at some point they will also show you just how much dead skin is coming off. And it is usually a lot, especially if you've never had one before. There's some intense exfoliation going on there, which is fantastic. So they will then, of course, rinse you off, and then you have options usually of different wraps and things that you can add. One of the most popular one is with the Gasul clay, which is special to Morocco and very, very good for your skin. I actually have a mud mask made of that, and it the softest thing ever. And so same kind of thing, they'll put it all over, a lot of times your face too, and then leave you for a bit. They may turn on the steam again, they may not, and then they come rinse you off. And most hammams will also wash your hair. If you do not want it washed, you need to be upfront about that. Also, it is going to get wet, so if you need to not have your hair wet, you definitely need to let them know ahead of time and ask for something to prevent that, because they automatically, wash your face, your hair, everything. And there can be other things that they add. I've had ones where they have different treatments for your eyes and your face, and extra things for your feet or your hands or things like that. Some of them have very extensive menus of things that you can add on. And then when you're all done, you get to dry off, put your robe back on, and then you go into the relaxation area. And that is usually not going to be private. It is usually going to be someplace where there are multiple lounges. Sometimes they'll bring you tea. They always bring you water. Kind of like after a massage, you really need to rehydrate after a hammam. So they'll bring you that. Sometimes there'll be a few cookies. I've had them bring fresh pressed juice. It is really dependent on the location that you go to. And another thing that a lot of more spa-like hammams offer is a massage. So you can then follow that up with a massage. A lot of times they'll use argan oil or something with orange blossom water so that you smell wonderful. And then that is your experience. So it is, as you can tell, quite a bit different than the very social, very busy local hammam. If you want that kind of experience, you can do that. Some local hammams are closed to foreigners because it is a safe community space and you don't necessarily want other people outside of that community in there. So that is perfectly understandable. But if you want to do that again, make sure that you are prepared with all of your stuff. If you need someone from the staff to help you, that's going to cost extra, because typically with a local hammam, you are just paying for entrance, which is usually like 10 dirhams, about $1. With a more luxurious hammam, the price can really vary. I've seen them as low as like 150. They can easily go up to 800, which is about, $17 to like $90. And of course, it really depends on what's being included, how long it is, and I will say it also depends on the level of hotel that you're at, because the really expensive ones are typically at hotels, at La Mamounia, at Royal Mansour, all of that. And a lot of them do, though, have extra things with that. Like at Royal Mansour, you start with a consultation so that they can learn a little bit about you so that they can choose the correct products for your skin needs before you go in to do that hammam. So that's why you're going to pay more there than someplace where everyone gets the same thing. And again, if you are with multiple people, it's going to be just your group, but it's not each individual person. If you are by yourself, it will be just you. Also, keep in mind, just like any spa treatments here in the US, tip your attendants. They deserve a tip for everything that they do. And I hope that helps to explain what a Moroccan hammam is. It is absolutely wonderful. We highly recommend people try it, usually in Marrakesh, because there are so many incredible options. And also, if you're coming through from Fez, the Sahara, or Zazet, and over the Atlas Mountains again to Marrakesh, you feel just a little bit road dusty. All the sand and the dust, and we've had people who, they're like, why is there sand all over the floor in Marrakesh? Oh, because you brought it with you. So sometimes having that experience of being scrubbed clean and new. It just feels incredible. So I hope that answers the question of what is a hammam, and I hope you will experience one when you're next in Morocco. If you've already tried one, please leave a comment down below and let us know where you have tried, if it was local or if it was a more spa hammam, and let us know how you liked it. Join us next time. Next will be a cooking video. It may be an American cooking one, or it may be Shebekia. We'll see what I have time for. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.